Das Radical.
So, in my last video I talked about the local elections in Vestmannaeyjar, but in this video let's talk about the big guy of the Icelandic local elections 2018, Reykjavík. It's always Reykjavík because that's where over a third of the Icelandic population lives. So, this year we got 15 parties and lists competing for the, I think, 15 seats in the Reykjavík City Council, so you know, it'd be hilarious if they all managed to get a single seat each. That'd be the most awesomely disastrous city council of all times. But okay, in this video I'm actually gonna try to touch upon all of these 15 lists just to get you an idea of what's going on here in Reykjavík. But you know, some I'm gonna cover less than others because, like, the big national parties that have dominated Iceland for so long, I don't think I need to talk that much about them. You probably already know about them, or if you're watching from a different country, you may not know about it, but you can watch some of my other videos on that. So here I want to mainly focus on the smaller parties, the newly created lists just for this election, and you know, the frictions that have been trying to get into the political stage, so far always unsuccessfully. But without further ado, doing this kinda alphabetically, let's first talk about our two new socialist parties. Actually, only one of them is new, but yeah, we got two socialist parties running because one was clearly not enough. So we got Alþýðufylkingin, the Common People's Movement, and Sósíallistaflokkur Íslands, the newly created Socialist Party of Iceland. And you may be asking yourselves, well, how are these two parties different? Why are these two separate parties but not a singular one? I actually don't know. Believe it or not, I actually went to the official Facebook page of the Socialist Party of Iceland and I asked them this question, and from what I could gather from the answers there is that a higher percentage of the members of the Socialist Party decides party policy versus a smaller proportion of the members of the Alþýðufylking decides their party policies. So, again, doesn't still, but if you look issue by issue, and I'm going to list all of their issues here, you can probably already guess them. It's like, oh, we want more housing for working class people. We want to lessen the pay gap between rich and poor, or you know, we want to give power to the people, the common man, the working man, the poor, the sick, and the elderly, and improve our education system. All of these basically want to do the same thing. So, yeah, aren't they then kind of the same? Well, again, according to the Socialist Party members that I asked, the answer was... Shut up! This is totally different! Right. But from what I can gather, I mean, based on my personal interpretations of things, is that Alþýðufylkingin is a little bit more focused on the community, and you know, like smaller communities. You know, they want to build up like a socialist state from a more communal perspective, versus the Socialist Party. They are more focused on like big national issues. At least that's the gist of what I was able to read between the lines. But for me, for all intents and purposes, they might as well be the same party, so yeah. But we still got a lot more other parties to cover, so let's just move on. Okay, next up we got our city Reykjavík, or Borgin, okkar Reykjavík. Honestly, I don't know about this one. I read through basically the thing that they're fighting for, or trying to promise, and they want to ban the use of smartphones in schools, which I kind of agree with. I think it's a good idea. And they want to basically, well, there are a lot of, there's a housing crisis in Reykjavík right now. There's not enough housing for everybody, and rent and housing prices are through the roof, and Airbnb is certainly not helping. So most of the parties have promised to basically build more apartments and houses and stuff. But Reykjavík, Borgin, okkar is promising not to build more, but to have more, how do you say, more spaces and cheaper spaces for people to then build their houses on. So I guess they're catering more to like a middle class or upper middle class people who actually have the time and patience and money to build a house from scratch. So yeah, like I said, I don't know about this one. Let's just move on. Oh, and they're also very hesitant about all the major traffic infrastructure projects that our current city administration wants to put forth. So yeah, there's that. Next up, Flokkur Fólksins, or the People's Party. Now, you know, in this segment, instead of talking about what they want to fight for, I think I'm just going to show you one of their commercials, because this was actually one of the few election commercials that I watched that truly touched me. Not deeply, but still I really like the message that they're getting across. Now I'm not gonna subtitle it, I'm just gonna dub over it, I think. Maybe I'm gonna subtitle some of it, but anyway, here's a snippet from said video.
In 2015 I was diagnosed with cancer in my brain, and the doctor made some error while trying to operate on me, and because of that I lost 90% of my vision. So today I am classified as disabled. My name is Karl Berntsen, and I'm the second runner-up for the People's Party in Reykjavík. We want to make sure that all children can get free meals in school, so that those blessed children that can't eat at home will at least get a meal in school. We would like the city to set up some sort of a communal housing system, so that poor people can have a roof over their heads. The current city administration has a lot of interesting things planned right now, like the new city bus line, which we do not oppose. However, we still think we can prioritize the city's resources somewhat better. The people must come first, and we want to make sure that all old people, disabled people and children will have enough food, clothes and a roof over their heads.
And I think that pretty much wraps it up with the Flokkur Fólksins. I mean, do we need to explain anything more? Let's just move on to the next one. Next up, we have Framsóknarflokkurinn, the Progressive Party. And, well, part of their platform for Reykjavík is that they want to make the buses free of charge, at least try that out for a year, and maybe not free of charge for everybody, maybe just for students, old people and disabled people, and basically all non-working adults or whatever. And this is an idea that I really like, mainly because I use the bus and don't own a car, but also because, well, our current city administration has some infrastructure plan to basically build separate lanes for our new bus system, because currently, due to the city's ever-growing population, it takes longer to drive from point A to point B within the city, because, well, there's simply too much traffic. But they think if the buses get their own separate lanes, at least the bus system will work faster and more efficiently. However, this would cost the city around 150 billion Icelandic kronur, whereas the plan of the Progressive Party to simply make the current bus system free of charge would cost around 5 billion annually. Okay, let's say that is a conservative estimate. Let's say it costs 3 times that. Let's say it costs 15 billion. It's still 1/10 out of the price of this new improved separate lane bus system, which we can't even guarantee at this point would be that much better or cheaper than the one we currently have. So yeah, I think So me personally, I think this particular thing that the Progressive Party is promising us is a great idea. Aside from that, they want to raise pay for teachers, kindergarten teachers, high school teachers and preschool teachers. Our school system is in Iceland is kindergarten, grundskóli, it's 6 to 16-year-olds, and high school is 16 to 20 or thereabouts. But yeah, they want to raise salaries across the board for all teaching staff for around 100,000 kronor monthly. Now, they also want to raise the minimum required education of teachers. They call this the Finnish way, the Finnish version. Basically in Finland, apparently to become a teacher you have to be very highly educated. It's very difficult to become a teacher, but because it's so educated, teachers in Finland are considered to be the most professional, I guess, within Europe, if not the world, and therefore they are also very highly paid. And this is what the Progressive Party is currently working on, to make our school system a little bit more like the Finnish one. Now, as far as the Reykjavík city election is concerned, I always thought that teacher salary in the entire country of Iceland was the same everywhere, so I don't know how it would work to raise teacher salary in Reykjavík only. I would have thought this was a national thing, because as far as I know, all teachers in Iceland have the same union, so yeah, I'm not, like, I think it's a great idea, though. I'm just not quite sure on the mechanics of it. But, so yeah, that's the Progressive Party. Let's move on to the next one.
Das Radikal.